Welcome to TV Africa News, where we keep you informed always. This is Africa Today. My name is Najuma Luima, but first are the headlines. Museveni links attacks on police stations to killers of Bukoka, who was shot 26 times. Rwanda welcomes UK judge's ruling validating deportation plan. Mitchell defends a squad as Uganda names 35 for CHAN. Welcome once again. Now the news in detail. President Museveni has said that the silence behind the recent wave of attacks targeting police stations and posts around the country were also the ones behind the killing of Buko Chief Administrative Officer Charles Ogwang in July. We have more. Addressing the nation on Tuesday, President Museveni said the killers of Buko Chief Administrative Officer Charles Ogwang were also behind the attacks on police stations. Ogwang was killed at Chiriowa Mabanda Bombo Road near Banu Petrol Station in Kasanga Tuwakeso district at around 11 p.m. by unknown assailants who stopped his vehicle and asked him to stop on the roadside before shooting him dead. The attackers shot the car 26 times and also set his motor vehicle ablaze while filming the incident on their smartphones. President Museveni explained that on October 31st, a group of about 7 criminals attacked Busika police station, in which they killed 2 police officers, stole guns and torched part of the police station. The president revealed that the same group later attacked Chabadaza police station and rescued 2 of their colleagues, but left behind some clues to their identities that he said were used to arrest them. According to the president, after arresting the 2 suspects in Maganjo, they divulged more information of having been part of ADF, and that this gave more clues leading to the arrest of their colleagues. Authorities in Rwanda have welcomed the British courts giving the green light to the deportation of migrants who have arrived illegally in the United Kingdom to the Central African country. The Rwandan government spokesman Alain Mukuralinda called the ruling a positive step towards solving the global migration crisis. Let's take a look.
After hosting student survivors of the 1994 genocide for nearly 3 decades, the Hope Hostel is one of the major properties that will be the first home for migrants deported from the United Kingdom in Rwanda. The renovated 50-room facility in Kigali's Kagugu neighborhood has a new coat of paint, fresh bedding, and new security cameras. This is just one of the ways Rwanda has prepared for this. According to Alain Mukuralinda, spokesman for the Rwandan government, there are Rwandans who study, there are Rwandans who have businesses, there are migrants who study in Rwanda, and there are refugees who have been living in the country for 10, 15, 20 years, which is not just 10,000, 15,000 or 20,000, but there are over 100,000. He asserted that no matter what people think, Rwanda is ready to try new ways of doing things and attract the human capital. Judges in London on Monday ruled that the UK government's controversial plan was lawful after a legal challenge by migrants and campaigners.
The largest opposition party in Suriname, NDP, has condemned the Dutch government for failing to adequately consult with the descendants of enslaved people. On Monday, Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte apologized on behalf of the Dutch government for the country's role in slavery and the slave trade. The descendants of slaves say the apology is not enough and demand reparation. According to Rolete Belfort, member of the Federation of Grassroots Afro-Surinamers, they expect on July 2023, when they celebrate the 150th anniversary of the abolition, a compensation payment of 400,000 euros for everyone who was affected by slavery. During the speech, the Dutch Prime Minister also announced the creation of a 200 million euro fund to help tackle the legacy of slavery and boost education about this issue. Many, however, feel the issue is far from closed. Amanda Zunda Suriname Reparations Committee said that the way it was presented, they don't accept the apology, adding that they are going to evaluate and discuss it internally and then give advice to the Surinamese government if they must accept the apologies, where and when to accept. Suriname is a small South American nation, a former Dutch colony where plantation owners generated huge profits through the use of enslaved labor. Let's take a quick break. We will be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching TV Africa News, The Right to Know. Thousands of pro-democracy activists took to the streets in Sudan's capital to reject the agreement signed by military and civilian leaders on December 5th, which critics have dismissed as vague.
Monday's demonstration coincided with the 4th anniversary of the outbreak of month-long mass protests that ousted longtime autocrat Omar al-Bashir in April 2019. Bashir's three-decade rule was followed by a short-lived transition to civilian rule appended in October 2021 when Army Chief Abdel Fattah al-Burhan led a coup, deepening Sudanese political and economic turmoil. Sudan has been rocked by near-weekly protests since Burhan's coup. The deal between military leaders and multiple civilian factions was the first component of a planned two-phase political process, but critics say it falls short on specifics and timelines. While opponents at home eyed it with skepticism, the deal drew some international acclaim. Security forces later fired tear gas to disperse the crowd, according to the media.
Moving on, the Islamic police have arrested 19 people accused of organizing a gay wedding in the city of Kano in conservative northern Nigeria, according to the city's spokesman on Tuesday. Kano is one of 12 northern Nigerian states that introduced Sharia law in 2000, where Islamic courts operate alongside the state judicial system. This is not the first time the Islamic police have made arrests accusing youths of organizing a gay wedding. Each time the suspects have denied it, saying they had gathered to celebrate. Homosexuality is punishable by death under Islamic law, but no execution has ever been carried out. The 19 people, 15 women and 4 men in their 20s were arrested on Sunday in a multi-purpose hall, Lawan Ibrahim Fage, according to a spokesman for the Islamic police. However, Fage said the alleged coup managed to escape and police are looking for them. The suspects, meanwhile, have been taken into custody pending further investigation, the spokesman said. In 2014, Africa's most populous country, which is very religious, passed a law against same-sex marriage. Since then, homosexuality has been punishable by 10 to 14 years in prison. The Islamic police, the Hisbah in Kano, have in the past arrested several people accused of planning gay and lesbian marriages without any convictions. Let's once again take a quick break. We will be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching TV Africa News, the right to know. In our business news today, Ivory Coast on Monday commissioned the construction of two major infrastructure projects in the Ivorian economic capital Abidjan, that of a metro and the extension of the international airport. We have more on this report.
The launch of the construction was attended by the French Economy Minister Bruno Le Maire, who signed agreements including credit for this project and said that the purpose of his visit was obviously to mark the concrete launch of the completion of major infrastructure projects in Abidjan. The French minister added that the metro is one of the largest infrastructure projects on the continent and will benefit millions of people in Abidjan. At the end of 2019, a French consortium comprising the groups Bourgois, Travaux Publics, Alstom, Colasrail and Keolis had been chosen to build the first metro line in Abidjan. At the time, France committed to cover the contract with a mix of loans from the French Treasury and private financing guaranteed by the French government. The cost of the work is estimated at 1.36 billion euros. The line will cross the Ivorian metropolis from north to south, over 37 kilometers as far as the airport. The construction work has been delayed for years, but the government hopes that the metro will be operational by 2025.
In our health news today, President Museveni has hailed Ugandans for heeding to the advice of experts, which has ensured the country defeats Ebola virus. He said that the fight is now focused towards malaria, which has claimed over 2,489 in 10 months. Uganda in September announced the outbreak of Ebola virus in country, with Mubende and Kassanda districts being the epicenters. The virus later spread to other districts, prompting government to order total lockdown of the two epicenter districts. However, last week government lifted the lockdown. Addressing the nation on Tuesday, President Museveni announced that the country has been able to defeat Ebola. Museveni said that Ugandans have defeated Ebola because they listened to his advice, although the country lost 56 people. The president consequently applauded health workers for a job well done during the fight against Ebola, noting that these ought to be rewarded with medals during the Heroes' Day celebrations. Museveni said whereas Ebola was easy to fight, the population had been misguided by witch doctors and some religious leaders who had promised to treat and pray for the sick. He hailed Uganda for the fight against Ebola, noting that the situation in the country has not been as bad as it is in other countries like Sierra Leone, where they have battled with the virus for over 2 years. The president said whereas Ebola has been defeated, the new problem the country is faced with is malaria, which has killed over 2,489 people in 10 months. And in sports, Uganda Cranes coach Milton Mitchell has defended his choice of players summoned for Cranes as the team starts preparation for African Nations Championship. We have more.
The sub on Tuesday named a 35-man provisional squad to start preparations for CHAN, and these will enter residential camp today, Wednesday, and later have a pre-tournament in Tunisia early next year. Many have since poked holes into Mitchell's provisional squad, demanding answers for some omissions and additions. However, the coach defended his decision, saying he considered many aspects. Mitchell said during a press briefing on Tuesday that they have looked at the aspect of inconsistency while analyzing this level of competition and realized that they must have players that have consistently been part of the team throughout the qualifiers. The Serbian tactician said he had maintained impactful players who had been with the team during the CHAN qualifying double-header with Tanzania, noting he had added others from the under-23 and under-20 teams. Uganda is pitted in Group B with Senegal, Ivory Coast and DRC for the 7th edition of the tournament that kicks off in January in Nigeria.
That was the news. Thank you for always keeping it TV Africa. Please do stay tuned.